Hello everyone, Luke here. Welcome to another MyTeam video. This time it is round 11 of the championship, the Austrian Grand Prix around the Red Bull Ring. We're nearly halfway through the season and we are still putting in some good performances. We managed to finish 8th in a wet dry French Grand Prix, so that puts us on 38 points. We maintained 9th in the Drivers' Championship. The team are still 7th in the Constructors, but we know that we have got to improve the car if we want to stay there. So we have made one upgrade. It won't come into effect until the Hungarian Grand Prix, but we do have a major upgrade to the aerodynamics, so hopefully that will improve our performance. Will be crucial at Hungary to have good aerodynamics, as it's a very tight and twisty circuit. We've also made an investment in the marketing department to increase the positive effects from the team activities. So hopefully that will allow us to climb the ladder a tiny bit faster. But for now, let's get this Austrian Grand Prix underway. We're on a fantastic run. Scored points every race now since China. Hopefully we'll be able to keep that up now. Let's get qualifying underway, and I'm actually pretty optimistic for this qualifying session. Feel as though could well be our best performance of the season so far in this race. We'll have to see how it goes. Practice went fairly well, but there's always the chance of rain in the race. You can see it looks very overcast in qualifying, and it looks like the race is going to be in similar conditions to France, maybe with a bit heavier rain actually towards the end, so that is going to be something to watch out for in the race. Currently in 11th position, and that wouldn't be a bad place to start because we do get free tyre choice, so if I can start just outside that top 10 where I have been the last couple of races, that might put me in a good place to score some decent points again. Who knows how we could do, but I think the strategy is going to be key around this circuit. We're just losing a bit of time there in the middle sector. Ran wide a couple of times. Don't seem to have the straight line speed despite Honda bringing an upgrade to this race, taking as much curve as I dare, taking advantage of that runoff area, and we are in to 13th position, I believe it was. So yeah, very similar to how we've done the last couple of races. We'll see if Dorian's anywhere near.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Bottas, Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
So you can see we are in 30th. We have beat Lando Norris as he is our rival. Dorian down in 21st, and you can see both of the Alpha Tauris down there. They don't seem to have upgraded their car that much. No surprise with the top 3 drivers, probably top 5 drivers as well. Always seems to be the Mercedes, the Ferraris and Max Verstappen at the top. Let's see how we can do in the race. So in the mixed conditions, it's going to be dry at the start and get very wet towards the middle. We did well last time, going for a slightly different strategy and having to sieve our way through the field. Might have to do something similar this time around to make sure we can carry on our run of points that started way back at the Chinese Grand Prix.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of Turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Why don't we start by talking about Valtteri Bottas? That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, and Stroll, Albon, Perez, Giovinazzi, and Daniel Ricciardo. Sainz, Grosjean, the owner driver, and Raikkonen. Norris, Ocon, Kevin Magnussen, and George Russell. Gasly, Kvyat, Boccolacci, and Nicholas Latifi. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Let's see if we can get a good start then to this Grand Prix. France, we didn't get a good start, but we got lucky with the weather, and the same could happen this time around. We are going to go for a one-stop strategy, soft to mediums. Ideally, would be nice if it started raining round about the end of the soft stint, but I don't think it will, so we'll probably just get a few laps on the mediums, or if the rain's forecast, we might even decide to go for the softs, and then just on intermediate or for wet tyres towards the end. We're going to be changing the strategy a lot on the fly, I think, during this race. But for now, let's see how we can do. Let's try and get into the points. I feel like this could be a really good race for us. Standard trick of trying to go outside as many cars as possible on the run into turn 1 seems to have worked again. Managed to get past 2 there, so up into 11th place. You can see Raikkonen, he's found a way past Sainz as well, and he's looking very quick in a straight line, so that could affect me during this race. Just gone a bit deep into that corner there.
Okay, that's a good start. Keep it up.
Managed to get away with it though, so we gained a couple of places early on this first lap. Don't think there'll be an opportunity for us to gain any more. You can see Raikkonen's come from a long way back there to try and have a go at getting ahead of me, and he's going to get a decent run out of turn 4. That wasn't the best I've taken that corner, if I'm being perfectly honest, but I've just stayed ahead for now. He's going to give the cutback a try, but I don't really think he's far enough alongside me, so he's getting feisty in his old age, is Mr. Raikkonen. He's still trying to make his way up the order, but currently we are in that 11th position at the moment. Gained a couple of places off the start and through turn 1. Just try and keep in touch with these guys now. Use the DRS where possible. There are 3 DRS zones on this track, so it's crucial that you stick to within a second of the car in front, otherwise it can really hurt your race. Ricciardo was a bit slow off of turn 3 there. I've tried to lunge one up the inside.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes.
That could have easily cost me a position to Raikkonen, who's still fighting with me, is Kimi. He's trying to go down the inside there, so thought that was worth a shot, but didn't get stopped anywhere near fast enough. Now, use my ERS, get that gap back down to within a second, because it's hovering around that 1 second window at this moment in time. We saw that rain is on its way as well, so that's going to make it very interesting once the rain does come. Can we get these soft tyres to last until the rain starts falling? It's really what we've got to try and do now, and try and boost our way up through the order as well. I think it's actually Giovinazzi who is at the front of this queue of cars, so he's really holding a few of us up here. As Ricciardo looks as though he's thinking about sending one on Sergio Perez there. That might push the pair of them and compromise them through that next corner, and it's definitely giving me a run on the back of Daniel Ricciardo. Need to be careful here, because obviously we've got Sergio Perez there as well. Going to try and send it all the way around the outside of Daniel Ricciardo into turn 4.
Nice move. Good job.
He's still alongside me, but I've got the inside 9 for the next corner. And that should be the place secured for me now. So I'm up into the points, up into 10th position. Just going to have to try and work my way up the order as Ricciardo looks as though he might actually fight back. It's not really an overtaking spot, this next corner, so as long as I can brake just a tiny bit later than him, I should get away with it. But there we go, we've got a position gained, up into the points. I need to work my way up the order though, catch up to Perez,
top 10.
and then see if I can pass them. Could really do with a few of these guys getting past Giovinazzi as well. Sergio Perez has managed to get past Alexander Albon, and I might try and see if there's a way for me to follow through here. Can I hold it all the way around the outside at turn 4 to get the overlap through 5? No, not able to this time around, so might have to just wait behind the Red Bull, who does seem to be struggling a bit more. he went for a move on Giovinazzi that actually didn't pay off for him, so that's why he's dropped back behind the racing point. Jeff has said approximately 5 minutes until the rain comes, so just going to have to wait and see for when that rain does come. Hopefully we won't have to come in for another set of dry tyres. As you can see, I'm starting to get fed up of waiting behind these guys. That is why I managed to get past Albon there into turn 4 a lot more successfully than what I tried earlier on Ricciardo, and it is getting very dark around the Red Bull ring, so can't be too long before the rain comes. I think as long as it comes in the next 10 minutes, I can probably just about stretch these soft tyres enough for it to last, and Jeff does say the rain is going to come any minute now, so we're up into 9.
Conditions aren't improving. It's your choice as to whether you want to fit the wets next time you come in.
We're up into 9th, we ran slightly wide there. Me and Albon now having a bit of a wheel bashing down the straight as the rain is starting to come down, so made a bit of a mistake there into turn 1, which could have easily cost me. Thankfully, no damage done. Rain is starting to come down. Will it be heavy enough in the next couple of laps to put intermediate tyres on? I'm almost certain of it. So we're into 9th. Just try and keep calm and keep it nice and steady now. Let's come into the pits then. Intermediate tyre time, I think. As I nearly understeer out the pit lane. That is not ideal. That's how much I'm starting to struggle with grip. Just about got it slowed down in time. There we go, we're putting on the intermediate tyres then. I mean, this could make or break our race really, whether it's wet enough.
We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
DRS is still enabled, so that's not ideal, but hopefully the rain will carry on. Oh, there we go, DRS disabled. We might have timed this absolutely spot on. By pure luck, we might have got it just right with the tyres here. We'll have to wait and see, but we were in 9th before we stopped. Let's see where we are when we come out.
Let's use overtake and burn some of this energy.
There you can see we are up into 8th position. We've got past all them going for the pit stop. Gained us about 5 or 6 seconds, you've got to say. So let's just carry on. Let's hope the rain stays like this, because we might be able to make it towards the end on these tyres. Or if it gets heavier, we'll probably have to change to the wet. But let's just see how it goes. We're up into 8th. Now it's just about keeping it calm, because I can't see us being able to keep up with Sebastian Vettel or possibly even Lance Stroll up ahead. Halfway through the Grand Prix then, and I've just been informed by Jeff that the rain is getting worse, so we might need to come in for wet tyres in a few laps time. I'm going to try and survive on the intermediates for as long as possible, because I think it might come back to these tyres, but I'm not sure they'll be in great condition at the end of the race, so this just makes it even more challenging. We timed the pit stop right last time around. Can we do the same again? Now, as you can see, a few others have started to come in for the full wet tyres. Jeff suggested to me that I do the same, but I'm going to take a risk. In a couple of laps time, I'm going to come in for another set of intermediates, because I do think
a new strategy is available on the MFD.
I do think it might dry out enough to put intermediates back on, so we're going to have to wait and see. This could be a big risk for myself, and could easily end up with us not finishing to the points. But let's see how it goes.
Got that confirmed.
So Stroll has managed to get ahead of me, and I am starting to regret this strategy that I went for, because I don't think it's drying out fast enough for the intermediates to really last. I'm losing a couple of seconds a lap to everyone here. But if I pit now and put the full wets on, I'm basically just admitting that I made the wrong decision. So
You're doing well out there, keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes, full wets seem like the best tyre for now.
it's going to stop raining in 10 minutes. And obviously the track's going to be starting to dry out fairly quickly as I'm nearly losing it in a straight line. I'm going to come in this lap, but for another set of intermediates, and just hope that the rain starts getting less. Right, I'm going to come in, put the intermediates
Fuel is
on,
looking really good. You're
just
managing
pray
it
that
well.
it stops raining, but I feel as though I may have made a big mistake here. We were in the points, obviously we're going to drop a long way down the order.
Exit now. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
We have started to catch up some of those ahead of us after our second pit stop. So it looks like the intermediates are now coming into their own, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a few cars pile into the pits now. We might have just about hung on for the worst of the weather. We'll see if anyone does pit, but the sky seems to be clearing, the track seems nowhere near as wet. I was about 2 seconds faster.
Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilize some of this energy. Say that again. We're having trouble receiving.
I was about 2 seconds faster on that previous lap than I was the lap before. This might not be over yet. Catching up to Esteban Ocon then, who will be cooking those wet tyres as the rain starts to slow down. Tries a hard-hearted defence on me there, and
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
I managed to get ahead, so that is us up into P13. Ricardo is a long way down the road, so we've got Grosjean in between us and Ricardo, and then obviously Ricardo's in that queue for the points. Unless they come into the pits or it stops raining now, can't see me getting any points here, but I'm going to keep trying. Now up into 13th. This could be a carbon copy of what I did the lap before on Esteban Ocon. I'm a bit further back this time, but I'm still able to get alongside on the brakes. I've got that extra grip at the moment, and I've got ahead, so we're now up into 12, and you can see 7.5 seconds off of the points. 3 and a bit laps to go. Impossible in normal conditions, but this is anything but normal conditions. Let's give it a go.
Keep managing your tyres. Manage your tyres.
Caught up about 4 seconds on these two on the last lap alone. We are flying through at the moment. Just need to be patient. I know I've got so much more pace than them in the braking zones, in the acceleration zones, basically every part of the circuit. I am quicker than them. Just don't want to bin it now because we could still get a point here. It looked as though we'd gone for completely the wrong strategy. It might just about pay off here. We'll see if I can go for a dive on Ricardo because I've got so much more grip than him. Not this time around. This is going to hold us up, but you can see there is 8th position just ahead of us, and let's not forget that's where we were before we went for the decision to stay out on the intermediates rather than the full wet tyres. So we're giving it everything at this moment in time. Can't get past Ricardo, who's really holding us up, and this might just cost us. That I've not been able to get past Ricardo as quickly or as easily as I thought I would have done. Should still get into the points, but might be a bit of a case of what might have been here, as I've got such a better exit than him off that corner.
Final lap of the race.
I feel like I'm going to get Carlos Sainz where I've been getting everyone on that run. In fact, we're going to get him before we even get to the corner.
They are out of the race.
He's trying to go hold it on the inside, which is very brave. not been able to do so. So that is all into the points. Just, if the rain had stopped, well, and slowed down maybe a lap or two earlier, who knows what we could have got out of this race, because I think that's what cost us. And now I've nearly binned it into the wall, so... let's try and hold off now, because we've been losing a lot of downforce. So nearly binned it on the final lap here, but I think we are going to somehow
Be
sneak
aware, there's an incident in the next
and get
part
a
of the
point.
track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
That's Ocon's car off of the circuit as we come round the final corner. Very steady indeed with our damage, but we have managed to sneak home in
That's
10th
the end of the
place.
race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Knowing obviously that 7th probably was possible if we'd have just stuck with the normal strategy. I still managed to get driver of the day somehow, despite nearly crashing at the end there. Just
A fantastic team effort to secure victory here at
that
the
lap
Styrian Alps.
stuck behind Ricardo probably cost us really, otherwise we might have got ahead a few of the others, and then I just pushed a bit too hard at the end. That is what you saw happen. We just, as Anthony Davidson said, we couldn't keep the tyre temperatures up once that heavy rain started coming down. I thought it would stop a bit earlier than it did, but it didn't. Still managed to get a point though, so that'll keep our sponsors nice and happy.
I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory
Bottas gets another win. He's so far ahead in the championship now. Like, he's got to be about 70 points ahead of everyone else at the moment. It's just ridiculous how much he's dominated.
And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
I'm going to give it to the owner driver today. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Another team that will be satisfied with this Grand Prix is Alfa Romeo, whose good result moves them further up the championship. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
So there we go, 8th in the Drivers' Championship. We have moved up ahead of Carlos Sainz at 1 point, proving important. And who knows, maybe if we hadn't have made a mistake, we could have moved up ahead of Esteban Ocon as well to become best of the rest. Stay 7th in the Constructors. And you can see how close it was. We finished 5 seconds behind Giovinazzi. I thought it was worth the risk going for something different. Maybe if the rain had slowed down a lap earlier, we might have finished a lot higher up the order. Who knows, you've got to try something different sometimes to try and maximise your race. Dorian finished in 17th ahead of one of the Haasers. Obviously both Esteban Ocon and Daniel Kvyat did not finish, and that might be very timely for Dorian to start doing well because it is contract renewal time after this race, so I've got a decision to make. Do we stick or do we twist and maybe go for one of the other drivers?
You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy? Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
They better be ecstatic. I'm scoring all their points.
Are you happy with your performance today?
I'm going to be honest, the result wasn't ideal. Like, I know I could have finished
How
7th.
did your team respond to the poor conditions today?
I know I could have finished 7th, but like I said, I tried something different.
Right. Well, that's everything.
Last time it worked in France, it worked in Canada when I went for the softs at the end, it worked in the first stint here to jump me ahead of Giovinazzi and Perez. It's just a shame it didn't work out at the end, but we did beat Norris. So the rivalry looking very healthy for me at the moment, 17-10, and I thought this would be difficult. It just seems that McLaren have dropped off ever so slightly. I'm up to driver acclaim level 9. We're going to just miss out, I think, on team acclaim level 11. Oh, we've just snuck into it, so that's good. Whatever that does, I'm still not 100% sure, apart from getting you extra sponsors. And you can see there we just managed to hit all of our targets, even though it looked as though we weren't going to. Didn't fully break the front wing, so don't get too much knocked off for any damage deductions, and I had a very clean practice as well, which makes a change. So we've got a lot of money in the bank, and we're going to need that for the contract negotiation. Who are we going to go for? Will it be Dorian? Will it be someone from another F1 team? Probably not, because I'd have a buyout clause to pay to get them out of the team, and that will cost me a lot of money. So it's either going to be sticking with Dorian, or maybe going for one of the top drivers from the 2019 F2 field. But you guys are going to have to wait and see for next time around to see who I have picked.
And we're making good profit against our running costs.
Will I go to the driver market? I mean, he's 2.5 million. I'm sure I can probably get someone better for cheaper, so you'll have to wait and see until next time, the British Grand Prix, to see whether Dorian Boccolacci has managed to keep his seat. Hopefully, we'll get a dry race at Britain. It's been a while now since we've had one, and if there's any track that's unlikely to provide dry weather, it is probably Silverstone. So I'll see you there and see which driver I have picked. Goodbye.